Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our continuation in our ICAP webinar series. Today, our ICAP webinar the title of it is Using OKcollegestart to Implement ICAP. My name is Chelsea Hunt. I am the Career Pathway Strategy Lead here at the State Department. And today we have a special guest. It is our voice from the field, and we have, as you have heard throughout various ICAP webinar series, our webinars that we have done, that we have two ICAP online tools that we are utilizing. One is OKcollegestart and the other is OK Career Guide. So today we have Theresa Shaklee, who is the OKcollegestart coordinator at the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education. So we are going to hear from her, and then I will come back and we will hear about some ICAP resources, and then I will touch base on our summer ICAP webinars and really just mention about Engage OK. So right now I would just like to introduce to you Theresa Shaklee, again, OKcollegestart coordinator.
Thank you, Chelsea, and thank you guys for joining us today. So as she said, my name is Theresa, and I'm the OKcollegestart coordinator. And I just wanted to share some information with you and answer any questions you had in the chat box as we go along. So OKcollegestart is provided by the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education and the Oklahoma College Assistance Program. Everything is completely free to you and your schools to use. The accounts that students create are theirs for their entire life. So it'll follow them through middle school, into high school, to college or career tech, into being an adult learner. The whole website can be translated into over 100 different languages using Google Translate, and it's mobile friendly on any device, any phone, tablet, laptop, anything along those lines. It includes the Oklahoma's Promise application inside their account, so they don't have to create a separate account to apply for that in 8th, 9th, or 10th grade. They can take care of that through their OKcollegestart account. And then it also provides you with an electronic transcript exchange, which we'll talk a little bit more about, but it allows you to send official electronic transcripts to other high schools and colleges across the country. So just a quick preview of what your students see. This is what a high school student sees when they log into their OKcollegestart account. So they can see right on their homepage some links to common features, additional resources, and then across the bottom they'll see that yellow banner for their ICAP. When they click on that ICAP, they'll see whatever grade they're in. Currently, it's going to pull up to that grade. So this student in this example is in 12th grade. So it's showing them a list of activities that they need to complete as part of their ICAP process. And you get to customize what those activities are. But students will see those assigned activities. As they complete them, they'll see their progress bar change across the top. And then they'll see the activity turn from blue to gray, indicating that it's been completed. So if they click on any one of those activities, they'll see this is just kind of an example of a couple of them listed. So there's a box for each activity with some additional instructions for students. You can add even further notes on each one if you'd like. And then clicking on the ACT scores, for example, this is what that activity looks like for them. So they enter in their sub-scores. It gives them a little bit of information off to the right, and then this activity would be marked complete for the student. So just kind of a sample of what that process looks like as they're filling out and completing those activities. I want to just quickly run through the student side of the website and show you some of the common features that schools use and students can take advantage of. So on the career planning tab, they can take career assessments, explore different career fields, and start working on the resume and cover letter and tools they're going to need as they're looking for a job. So OKcollegestart has 6 career and interest assessments that students can complete, and they can take them as many times as they want. It automatically stores their results in their account for them to look back at, and then you as an educator can see all those results as well. The career profiles that are in OKcollegestart are arranged by cluster, so students can look at the 16 nationally recognized career clusters and see what careers fall into that and learn more and more. They can search for a career by name, or they can use some of the tools that are listed. So for example, the Career Finder allows them to enter characteristics they're looking for in a career, and it will match those characteristics with a list of careers to show them things they might be interested in. This is an example of what those career profiles look like. Over 400 of them have a short video students can watch to kind of see what it looks like to work in that field. They can then work through those tabs on the left side of the screen and compare their assessments that they've taken to the career field they're looking at. So the career field's listed on the left side, their results are on the right side to kind of see how that lines up for them. They can also find income information for the state of Oklahoma and regionally and even for other states across the country. They can kind of see what they would expect to earn in that field and whether it's a growing field or not. All that information is updated every year. There's information about military careers if that connects with the career they're looking at, and then even how does what they're learning in the classroom connect to that field. So they can kind of look at those real life activities that they would be participating in if they worked in that particular career field. The Get a Job section has a resume builder, cover letter, and thank you letter builder as well. So that walks students through the process of what should be included on a resume, helps them format it so they have a nice, clean, professional document that is automatically saved. They can come back and update that, email it, print it, whatever they need to do there. And these activities can all be pieces of your ICAP. So you can assign that students are required to complete the resume builder as an ICAP activity, for example. On the high school planning tab, there are a couple areas with resources, links to other websites that have helpful resources for students who are looking to improve their time management or study skills. But the biggest feature here is the Your Plan of Study. And that allows students to map out the classes that they're planning to take in high school to make sure they're on track to graduate and meet your high school's graduation requirements. So the system already has the state minimum requirements for the core curriculum and the college preparatory work ready standards, but you can change those if your school's credits are different, if you require more credits, and you can customize that for your students. And then as they fill in those classes, it'll show they've had enough credits scheduled or planned for each subject area. The College Planning tab has information about concurrent enrollment, the school profiles for different schools across the country. This is where the Oklahoma's Promise application is as well. And then it also includes free test prep materials. So all students in middle school and high school have access to these materials for the ACT and SAT, the ASVAB, if you have a student headed towards taking the high school equivalency exam. And then once students graduate from high school, their account automatically updates to be a post-secondary learner, and they gain additional test prep for the GMAT, GRE, LSAT, and MCAT. So lots of cool stuff in there for students as they're preparing for different exams. This is an example of the school profiles. So these are available for schools, colleges, and career techs, public and private colleges across the country. So all the schools in Oklahoma will have the Apply Now button at the bottom of the page, linking the student directly to the admission website for the school they're researching. But as they scroll down the school profile for whatever school they're looking at, they're going to find some general information about who to contact, the website, where it's located. And then as they scroll, they'll find more information about how much it costs to go to school there, how difficult it is to be accepted into the school, what degrees are offered, and they're listed by the 16 career clusters, or they can search by name for a specific degree they're looking for. And then they can click on that degree, learn more about what they'll be learning, find a list of other schools that offer that same degree program. Everything's interconnected on OKcollegestart. But back on the school profile, they can see what criteria is considered during the admission process. So is there an essay required? How important is my GPA? All of those criteria are listed for schools. And then the student life portion is the biggest part of the profile. It has a breakdown of demographic information for the campus. It lists what sports are available at the school and what division those sports are in, and if there's a scholarship associated with that particular sport. Students will find a list of annual events, common places students spend a lot of time on campus, all kinds of good stuff about the campus that they can't actually visit. They can kind of get a preview. There's a list of assistance services that are available to students. And then there's even information, more detailed information about the cost of going to school there, the average student debt a student takes on at that particular school, and the breakdown for like tuition and fees and books and all those different categories. The last tab is the financial aid planning, and it again houses a ton of information, and this is actually a great place to refer parents as well. So parents can have their own OKcollegestart account and connect to their students, or they can access a lot of the resources even without an account. So Financial Aid 101 is one of those areas that they can access without an account, and they can see what is financial aid, how do I apply, how do I know what I might qualify for in the future, what are loans, what's the grant, all that information. There are calculators for students to start mapping out how they're going to pay for school, so it will fill in the cost of the school they're looking at from that school's profile, and then they can build out what financial aid they think they'll have or savings they have to see if there's a gap and how they're going to cover that. There's also a scholarship search, which is my favorite part of the website. So a student completes a profile. It searches over 20,000 scholarships that are available nationwide, and it gives them a list of the ones that they qualify for. So here's a preview just quickly of the profile they fill in. So students can list as much or as little as they'd like, what their citizenship status is, when they're graduating, what their ACT or SAT scores are, what activities they've been involved in high school. They can even include special circumstances like they're the first one in their family to go to college or they've been in foster care, and that will help match with those scholarships. So it'll provide them with a list. Anything it finds has already been vetted to be sure it's a legitimate scholarship. They meet the qualifications based on their profile, and they're accepting applications right now. So they'll get that list in front of them. They can click on it to learn more, save it in their profile to come back to later, add notes about whether or not they've applied, or if they received it, how much the scholarship is for. Kind of just helps keep everything organized in one place for them. There is a specific feature designed for middle school students also, and it's called School to College to Work, and it has 3 different parts to it. One is the Career Cluster Survey, which is one of the 6 assessments that we mentioned at the beginning students can take, so it directs them here as well to complete that activity. And then the other 2 are Directions After High School and the Career Clusters Map. So Directions After High School presents 6 different options that a student might be looking at when they finish with you at high school, headed to a 2-year college, a 4-year college, a career tech, participating in an apprenticeship, or going straight to work, or joining the military. So for each one of those, when you click on that tile, you'll see a more visual, less wordy description of the path for younger students to look at. And as they scroll over each tile, it'll switch between a picture and just a 1 or 2 sentences about what it would mean to head to that type of path. So what does it mean to go to a 4-year college? They start to learn some of the terminology and see what those different pathways mean. And then at the bottom, they can rate. There's a little 5-star system for them to rate how they feel about it, so you can see those results and kind of get an idea of where your students are, what they're thinking about at this early stage. The same concept is there for the Career Clusters Map. So of the 16 nationally recognized career clusters, they'll click on any one of those. And again, it shows them little tiles of information, a list of sample careers that they might work in if they headed into this field. And as they scroll over those, it gives just a very brief description. And again, has that rating system at the bottom for students. So this is also a feature that can be included in your ICAP to have your students complete these, rank all 16 clusters, or rank each of the 6 pathways after high school, just to kind of get an idea of what they're looking at right now. So all of that I just went through very quickly is just sort of a snapshot and a top glance at the student side of the website. There's a ton of information in there for students to explore and activities for you to assign as part of their ICAP. But I want to go ahead and flip over to the professional side and make sure you know about all the cool features that the Professional Center has for you to help navigate your work with ICAP and with OKcollegestart. So the Professional Center is where you as an educator create an account, and the first time you create your account, there's an access code you need, and so you can get that from me, and my contact information will be at the end here. And you will use that code, create your account, and then you're going to have access to run reports, see student information, customize the ICAP feature, make all kinds of changes for the to the site for your students. So there are 3 different types of accounts that you can have on the Professional Center side. And so just briefly, I wanted to share those with you as you're figuring out what your plan is for your district. The limited professionals have to be created by an administrator, and then you assign specific students to that professional account. So that might be for a classroom teacher that has 30 students they're responsible for, and you don't want them to see any other student accounts, just those 30. It's not typically used. We haven't had a lot of schools use that yet, but it is available for those if you're interested. Most schools will use the professional advisor level for their teachers, support staff, and that allows them to see all students at the school. They can then create a group for their smaller 30 students they're responsible for, but they would still be able to access any student information. And then if your school's using the transcript exchange, that can be added to this professional advisor account on a case-by-case basis, whether or not they should have access to that. And then the top level is the professional administrator account. That is typically going to be your counselors, your ICAP lead, your administrators at your school, and that gives them full access so they can see all students at the school. They can manage the other professional accounts if they need to upgrade or downgrade access for someone. And then they can also make those customizable changes with the ICAP, local scholarships, the graduation requirements, all of that happens in the administrator account. So when you contact me to set up your account, we'll talk about what your role is and who should have what level at your school and get that all worked out. The home page has a tab for each of the different areas that you can start exploring. So I'm going to start with the students and groups and just briefly let you know what's available there. This is where you would come to look at one individual student's account, see all the work they've done on ICAP, outside of ICAP, everything on OKcollegestart. You can also build groups here. So maybe for those 30 students you're responsible for, building that group lets you run a report just for those students, makes things a little quicker down the road. You can also batch create accounts for your students. And this is something that I recommend your schools do. It allows you to control the format of the username, so they're all standard. And then their account is made, it's ready to go. You're not having to deal with a student who says they did, but you don't see it, and we know that can get confusing. So you can create the accounts ahead of time for students. You also can merge duplicate accounts. So if you accidentally make 2 for a student, or you make 1 and they make 1, you can merge those together so they're not losing any of the work they did. It all comes back into that one username and just makes things cleaner and simpler for you as you're looking at student accounts. You can also release accounts, which doesn't delete the account. The student can still log in, access all the work they've done, reconnect to a new school, but it gets them off of your school connection. So if you've had a student who may be transferred out to another school, you don't need them to show up on your reports anymore. You can release that account. There are so many reports you can run, hopefully for anything you would possibly need. So there are a couple different types. There are usage reports about how many accounts are created at your school, what pages are they looking at, how many times have they logged in. There are tracking reports, and then outcome reports. So just as an example of an outcome report, this is the report that you can run for the Career Cluster Survey. So if you've had all your students in 9th grade take the Career Cluster Survey, you obviously don't want to have to look at every single student account to see what those results were. So this allows you to see that in a group process. The reports are available for all those activities that we mentioned today, the resumes, the 6 assessments, the middle school piece, all the work they're doing on the student side. So this report, for example, at the top shows you the total number of students that have completed the survey in the parameters, so you can narrow it down to I just want to see the 9th graders that took this test last week. You can narrow it down as far as you'd like, but you'll see a total at the top of how many students have taken the assessment. You'll see a graph visually showing you, in this case, the 16 clusters, which ones were more popular than the others. And then at the bottom, it breaks it down, that same data it breaks down in a different way and shows you by each cluster. You can click on the students and see just those that fell in that particular cluster. So it presents it in a couple different ways to hopefully be what you need. The first top part is all students that have completed, and so this is what you would see if you clicked on that to detail in further. So you see every student account, what clusters they fell into. If they have two that were really close at the top, it'll list both of them for you. And then it gives you the date they completed the assessment and some demographic information. So lots of information here. And again, the same type of report is available for all the different activities. One of the tracking reports is the ICAP tracking report, which of course will be useful to you. So it works in a similar way. You can narrow down what grade level you're wanting to look at, or if it's just a specific group of students, you can pick that. And then it's going to show you a graph of the different activities. So in this example, I think I'm looking at the 12th grade ICAP activities that were assigned. So it had a lot of activities assigned. You may not have that many. But you can see across there which ones have been completed, which ones nobody's done yet, to kind of give you a visual there. And then as you scroll down, you'll see a list of all the individual activities that were assigned and the number of students who've completed them in the middle column. And then as you keep scrolling down, it's going to show you a grid here of all your 12th grade students listed down the left side, each activity listed across the top, and a check mark for whether or not it's been completed. So it's just sort of a snapshot. How are we doing? I can see, Susan Bateman has done every single activity all the way across, but now I have some other students who've done nothing. They have no check marks. So who is that? We need to follow up with them, see what's going on there, and get them back on track. From here, you can click on the student's name and go into their individual full portfolio and see all of their work, or you can just stay here on this page and kind of look at the overview. And all the reports can be exported, so you can put them into a PDF or Word document or into Excel and do further sorting or add notes or whatever you need to do there. The next tab is the resources area, and we've just recently added some new things in there, so if you haven't looked in there lately, I would encourage you to do so. And the left-hand column is user guides from OKcollegestart and our vendor, so it's step-by-step directions for running reports, creating accounts for students, merging student accounts, all those things we've talked about, all the directions are in there. The middle column has some lesson plans to help you incorporate OKcollegestart into your classroom, and I'll show you an example here next. But it gives you an idea of how to incorporate this into your English class, how to put it into your math classes, and it has those full lesson plans for you. And then the right-hand column are additional resources that we've been putting together and gathering for you. So there are some specific ICAP PDF documents about how to run those reports and how to customize the different activities that are available for you. We also have some training videos that we've put together, and the links are here as well. So you can watch through those videos as you're working on customizing your ICAP and other features of the website. And we also included some promotional videos. So as you're starting to talk to your families about ICAP and that your students are going to be using OKcollegestart, there are some just very short promotional videos that you can share with students and families to just quickly give them an idea of what OKcollegestart is all about. So lots of good stuff on that resources tab. Definitely check that out. This is an example of the lesson plan. So it breaks down by course and then by grade level, and provides a full lesson plan with worksheets, goals, and the estimated time, all that information. So you're, of course, welcome to make any changes you want to these plans, but at least gives you a starting point for working OKcollegestart into your different classrooms. The communication tab has an events calendar, so you can add events that are visible to your students, and you can control whether it's visible to all students at your school, or just a group that you've created, or just one individual student, whatever you need to do there. You can also send out messaging reminders to students through OKcollegestart, and you can set it up to send a recurring email if you want. So if you wanted to email them every month, reminding them to work on their ICAP, it'll do that for you. And then it also includes a communication log. And what that allows you to do is track your interactions with your students and their families. So you add an entry for one individual student, for a group of students, for a whole grade level, for the whole school. You can do all of that all at once or break it up into pieces, whatever works best for you. You indicate when you met with them or when you interacted with them, what time of day it was, what type of interaction was it, did you send an email or send a note home, talk to them on the phone. You can add notes, and then at the bottom you get to select the privacy settings for who can see this entry. So it can be something only for yourself, it can be visible to your other coworkers at the school, or it can also be visible to students and or parents. So lots of opportunities there if you need to track interactions with your students. This is what it looks like when a student has some entries in their communication log. So I, as an educator, can see the other ones that have been made visible to me by other educators. I can read the whole thing, add notes if I need to, and they can even be removed by the person that originally posted them if they need to be. Or if you need to change the privacy settings, that kind of stuff, that can all be changed throughout time. The next tab is the transcripts. So not every professional will see this tab. It depends on if your school is using the transcript exchange and whether or not you've been granted access to the transcripts tab. But for those of you that do have this level of access, this is where you come to release and receive electronic transcripts. So this allows you to send free official electronic transcripts to other high schools in Oklahoma. Then you can also send them to colleges, universities, and career techs across the country and to the NCAA Eligibility Center. It works with almost every student information system. If you built your own, sometimes we can get it to work, sometimes we can't. But the big ones for sure, it works really well with. So if you're interested in starting to use the transcript exchange, there is one extra piece of paperwork for that. So just get in touch with me. We'll see where you are in the process and we'll get you moving forward there. It varies a little bit from school to school how exactly this process works, but in general, we'll get the paperwork signed, we'll send you directions, and we'll help you work through your first couple tries, but you basically pull the transcript out of your system at the high school, upload it into OKcollegestart, and then you can send them off to the schools you need to, or colleges, career techs, other high schools. So it's really simple once you get going, and we'll help you work through that whole process. So definitely just let us know if you're interested in getting started on that. Then the final tab is the administration area. So again, only those at that top level of access will see this. But this is where you're coming to make those customization choices for your ICAP, the graduation requirements. On the scholarship database, you can add local scholarships. So if there's an organization in your community that is offering a scholarship just to students at your school, you can add it here and only your students will see it. It won't be visible to others across the state, just those connected to your high school. So that's done here on the administration tab. And then again, you can upgrade and downgrade access for other professional users. But we're all here about ICAP, right? That's what we need to know about. So I just want to show you how that process works. So this, again, just as a reminder, is what your students are going to be seeing, that list of required activities for each grade. And so for you to customize that, on the administration tab, that very top choice is the define, edit, and assign individual career academic plan. So when you click on that, if you've not done any work in OKcollegestart, you'll just see one box, the Oklahoma ICAP template. You don't have to use that. We encourage you to start with it just because it builds the framework for you. So it has a page for each grade, 6 through 12, and then the categories of activities that match up with the State Department's outline of an ICAP. And then you can make changes within that, though, about what activities fall into each category and what you want students to complete. You can start your own from scratch, though, at the bottom if you'd like. But what we recommend is pointing at those 3 little bars and selecting duplicate, which will give you a copy of the template. The original template is always going to be there. You can't delete it. You can't change the original because we want you to have a reference point to look back to. But you have this copy now and you can make any changes you want. So when you click on the name of it there, it's going to pull up this page that shows you that 6 through 12 framework. You'll want to change the name of your ICAP, because if your student logs in and sees a copy of Oklahoma ICAP template, they're probably going to get confused about what that is. So the little pencil next to it allows you to change the name to be your high school name or whatever you would want, whatever you're calling your ICAP process that your students will recognize. And then you have those 6th through 12th grades that you can start looking at and making those changes. So if I, for example, click on 9th grade, now I see the 9th grade activities listed. Again, the categories, which are those green bars across, you'll notice, and those are the sections, and they match up with the State Department outline for career awareness, exploration and goals, preparation and planning, their plan of study, and advisement review. You're not required to keep those. If you want to change that up, you're absolutely welcome to, but this is how we've kind of formulated it to start with to keep things organized for you. So you'll notice on the page, there's all this information. You can change any of that. So this is a little closer shot just to show you that you can rename the tab of the grade level. So if you didn't want it to say 9th grade, you wanted it to say freshman, there's a little pencil next to it. You click on that. You can change that up. There are some just, if you wanted to rearrange the section, so if you wanted preparation and planning to come before career awareness, that's what the little sort button is off on the top right. You can rearrange the section. There are some brief directions included that you can change up. Clicking the little plus icon on the right will let you do that. And then we've included just a brief ICAP guide, just a one-page sort of explanation of what ICAP is, why it is they're doing this. You can delete that. You can add other documents here. Anything you want to change up there, you're welcome to do so. You can also change the name of the section. So if you would prefer to call it something else, the little pencil there will let you do that. And you can rearrange the activities within the section using this sort button on the section heading. So down below you see interest profiler, basic skills survey, and career cluster survey. If it was important to you that you wanted the first one on the list, the very first thing they see to be the career cluster survey, you would click this icon and you could move that up to be at the top of the list. There are instructions there for each section you can change. You can add additional instructional documents. So anything you need to put on there, you've got lots of places to do that. You can also delete a whole section. So if you looked at this and said, we're not doing any of those activities, I just want that whole green box to go away, you've got the little trash can off to the right to do that. And then if you want to just change up the activities within that list, that's what the add and edit activities button is for. So you have 3 activities listed there, but maybe you want to remove one or add something else. You would click on this add and edit activities. What you will see then is that specific section. So we clicked add and edit on the career awareness tab, and so that's what we're seeing now. So if I want to delete one of these activities, I can just click the red X. Say I don't want to do the interest profiler in this grade. I'm going to delete that out. So you just click that little red X. To add an activity, you have 2 ways to do that. You can select by section or sort of topic area, or you can search for it by name. So we know that there are a lot of activities you can include. How do you know what they are? We have a document to help you work through that, and I'll show you that in just a second here. Here we are. So on the Resources tab, one of the documents in the right-hand column is called ICAP Activities. And this gives you a preview of what each of those activities are and how they work, so that when you're looking for what to enter in this search box, if you have this document in front of you, you'll know the name of the activity, you can find it and add it to your list of ICAP activities really easily. And so when you're sitting down to look at what activities to include in your ICAP, I would start with pulling out this PDF document on the Resources tab and then working your way into the Administration tab. So again, that's there, it's up to date, it has the most current information about what activities are available that you can include on your ICAP with OKcollegestart. Once you've worked through, you've added and deleted and changed names, and you have it all set up exactly as you'd like it, you'll need to assign it to your students so that it's visible to them. So to do that, you click on that Set button. You'll see it at the top as you're making all your ICAP edits. So you'll click back to the Set button and then find the one you've been working on, you renamed to your school, and click Assign to Grades or Roles. From there, you pick what grade you're ready to have this roll out to and hit Save. You can always come back and unassign it by filling in the None Assigned bubbles at the bottom, and you can make changes to it at any point, even after it's been assigned to students. So there's no harm in going ahead and just getting it rolled out to them and continuing to make changes as you work through the process. Once it's assigned, you then have the ability to go test it out exactly as your students will see it. So on the homepage of your Professional Center account, off to the right, you'll see the OKcollegestart logo and a little paragraph about your companion account. This will open up the student side. It'll have your name at the top. So it's your account as a student at your school. So all those customizations you've made, you'll see here on the student side. You can complete activities, fill out the whole ICAP, do every single activity if you want, and really test it out. It's completely private. No one else has access to this account, and you don't show up on the reports for your school. But it just gives you an opportunity to experience it exactly as your students do, to really test it out. So definitely check out that companion account as you're working through the ICAP process. I have a couple frequently asked questions that I just wanted to go ahead and share with you. What do you do if a student is transferring? So with OKcollegestart, students can log in their account and update the school that they're attending, and that will grant their new school access to all that information. They don't lose any of the work they've done. All those activities are still stored in there. The results are stored. And so when they change that school name, their new school can see that information and just move right on ahead forward. They can also upload documents. And once a student is 13, they can upload documents into their account. So if they're coming into your school from another school and have some documents they want to add, you can do that. Or as they're leaving your school, if there's anything you wanted to put in there, the students can upload that into their account. Do students have to upgrade their grade level each year? They do not on OKcollegestart. It will automatically move them from 6th grade to 7th grade to 8th grade over the summer. If something happens, they didn't progress as you were expecting, or they progressed more quickly, they can go back in and adjust their graduation year if they need to. There is one thing to keep in mind. So most schools in the state have totally separate accounts for their middle school and their high school. And if that's the case, at the end of middle school, they need to go in and update to show that now they're attending the high school. So that is one thing they would need to do, but the grade level happens automatically. So to continue on that line with the two schools, middle school and high school, as I mentioned, a lot of schools are listed separately, but if you would prefer to have them combined and just have one account for everyone, grades K through 12, we can do that. And what we've seen so far is that works really well at our smaller districts, especially. Then students don't have to make that move over the middle school to high school. They just are all in that same place. If you're in a larger district and you have multiple middle schools, maybe multiple high schools, that's probably not going to be a feasible option for you. You'll keep each school site separate. But if you are interested in merging those accounts together or changing up the way your school is listed, just let me know and we'll get that taken care of for you. So we have a couple additional resources I want to make sure to mention. These are linked on the resources tab of your OKcollegestart account as well. But just as a reminder, we have some videos posted on YouTube to help you work through the ICAP customization process. There's a website demo, so you can show someone this recorded webinar, or there's a about 30-minute video that's listed that just walks through all the features on the student side and the professional center side. So if you needed to start sharing that with your teachers or staff, that's available. And again, the promotional videos. So definitely check that out. And the links on the resources tab or on YouTube, you can just search OKcollegestart with no spaces and it'll pull up all those videos. We also have a Facebook page, so we encourage you to follow us there. We post about any new features that are coming, reminders about things you may have forgotten about, and then of course share any upcoming trainings or anything like that. The resources tab I've mentioned several times has a ton of stuff on it for you, so don't forget to check there if you're looking for directions for something. And then this fall, we will be having 9 regional workshops across the state. Some of you may be familiar with the student preparation workshops that happen in September across the state. We are traveling with them, and so they'll have theirs in the morning, and then that afternoon, you'll be able to stay and attend an OK College Start workshop in the afternoon. Registration isn't open yet for those, but we'll have that out as you're coming back to school this fall. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be somewhere near you, hopefully, with 9 across the state. We should be pretty close to everyone. You can also set up one-on-one online training with me anytime you want. It's a lot like this, a webinar, but it's just me and you, the people at your school. So whether that's a general training for all of your staff, or if you want just 1 or 2 people in the room talking through the ICAP part of it, whatever we need to do, we can set that up. So just get in touch with me and we'll get that scheduled. And then you're always welcome to email or call me anytime with whatever questions you have, and we'll get you taken care of that way as well. I'm going to put up my contact information for you here just as a reminder, if you don't have it already, how to get a hold of me. And just please don't hesitate to ask questions. Send in your questions. We're excited to help you guys through this process, and we'll do whatever we can to support you and your students as you're working through ICAP. I don't see any chat questions at the moment, but if anyone has any, feel free to throw them up. And if not, I will turn it back over to Chelsea. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Theresa, so very much. She honestly broke a robust system down in an easy, digestible, tangible way today. So I hope you were able to find this resource adequate for you. And if this is one of the ICAP online tools that your school district is thinking about utilizing, please reach out to her. Again, her contact information is right here. I want to go ahead and continue on with the webinar. We will answer any questions that you may have that pops up in your mind at the end of this webinar as well. I want to just always showcase our new ICAP resources. If you haven't already checked out our new OKEdge website, it's really a website that's geared at preparing our students for life beyond high school. It breaks it down into elementary, middle school, high school. It even has features for parents, business and community, and educators, of course. So please check that out. What's really phenomenal about that website is under the Educator tab, there's a section that's called Implementing the ICAP. And within that section, you will have the ICAP Implementation Toolkit. So that will be a really good resource for you to really, how are you going to start implementing ICAP within your specific district? If you guys have not begun to have those conversations, that toolkit is a really good resource for you there. See, that leads into that ICAP toolkit. Also, just to mention this ICAP toolkit, it really was made with you in mind. It was created by a counselor cadre, about 10 counselors who came together and really were intentional about what would be best for maybe your large school versus a rural school, and giving you those tangible activities and things that you could implement, of course, suggested implementation activities within your district. So if you get a chance, go ahead and check that out as we prepare for statewide implementation in the 2019-2020 school year. And then the last website, or really our online community, learning community, is our OSDE Connect. And this is a wonderful website that has, it's not a website, it really is a platform, but it has different modules that are based off of the 6 career fields. And so a student can see, maybe they're interested into health sciences, and they can see some of the industries that connect with that, some of the career pathways, maybe what is the financial gain from that. So it's a good web platform in that aspect. Also, really what's good about it is that educators and business and community leaders for the first time will have a way to communicate via online, an online resource. So go ahead and check out all of those links. You're just able to click on them and it'll take you straight to the site. On the OSDE Connect, and it'll also have instructions on OKcollegestart.com on how to sign up and get access to the OSDE Connect platform. I wanted to let you know, just an update, that we are canceling our June webinar, ICAP webinar. Our July was going to be canceled as well because of Engage, so just reiterating, our June and July webinars, ICAP webinars, are canceled. We really want you to just enjoy your summer break. You all do tremendous things and pour your hearts into your students and every work ethic that you put into your position that you hold at the district. And so we are just thankful for that, and we just want you to have a breather, and then you come back with us in August 15th, and you will hear from our voice from the field, who will be Erica Harris. And she will show you all the ways our second ICAP online tool, which is OK Career Guide, how that is able to connect in your school district and the features that are aligned to that all the way from 6th grade to the 12th. They do have earlier, but she will just focus on the 6th to the 12th. What's good about that, if you want to meet Theresa and Erica personally and come to Engage OK, I went ahead and sent out our link for you there to go ahead and register. Registration is open. Engage OK is July 15th through the 18th and also July 23rd. It's at various locations around the state of Oklahoma, and we get on a bus and we come to you to just really provide professional development. You will have some sessions there that will be focused on college and career readiness, so that'll break it down with ICAP, career development, career advising. You will have information about social, emotional, and trauma, curriculum and instruction. You will also have information from me that's on post-secondary, guidance on post-secondary opportunities, work-based learning opportunities, and then also engaging industry and partnerships, business and industry and community. For my particular sessions, you're getting a front row seat to things that haven't come out yet. But I will have co-presenters for each of my sessions, and you will actually get to hear from voices from the field for the first time in the areas of workforce, economic development, in the areas of business, nonprofits, and K-12, higher ed, and CTE. And CTE stands for Career Tech, if you're not familiar with that acronym. So please do join us at Engage OK. There's a plethora of our agency staff who are coming just for you so that you can get prepared and ready to kick off the new year with a great start. So again, our June and July ICAP webinars are canceled. Engage OK is July 15th through the 18th and the 23rd. And our next ICAP webinar, come back with us, mark it on your calendars, will be Thursday, August 15th. And there's a link to register for that as well. Another thing we just always like to say, stay connected with us. We want to make sure you're well informed about new resources that are coming out, how you can continue to implement ICAP in your district. So sign up for our ICAP. It's our College and Career Readiness newsletter. This is where you'll get updates also on our ICAP webinars and who our next presenters will be. So also check us out on Facebook and tweet us and join us on Twitter. We always stay current and show you some good photos and just some activities that you can come and get involved with. And then also I want to showcase our student support team. If you ever need to get a hold of any one of us, you have our email, so please connect with us. We are here for you, and we want to help you in any way that we can. And then the next couple of slides are just common definitions. So I will go back to the student support team, and I will open it up again for any questions that you may have. I'm going to look at the chat box as well. If you have any questions for myself, or if you have any questions for Theresa. And it does look like you have a question for Theresa, so I'm going to bring her back up to answer this one.
Okay, so the question was, is it better to contact me with questions or to go through the ZAP support line? Partly it depends on what your issue is. If it's transcripts, if you're having trouble with like the back end of transcripts with, you know, the technical end, ZAP is probably going to be more helpful with you there. So you're welcome to contact them directly. You can always contact me though, and if I can't help you immediately, I will send it on to them, or if it's something they are a better fit for, I'll send it on to them, and they do the same with me. So either way, it's totally up to you. It just depends on, what you're more comfortable with. Anything else? Okay.
Yeah, any other questions? All right. Well, again, thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Again, job well done on ending the school year. Now go rest and have a wonderful summer break. And come back with us in August. Thank you so much.